Hello, my darling Fumi Nation. How are you? How are we? I have missed you guys so very much. I've been busy doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes, as well as changing out my studio. I just wanted a different vibe. I wanted to try to bring beauty and fashion into the studio so that I didn't have to run around too much in the house, you know, going from one place to another, changing cameras and everything. But anyway, I am here. How are you guys? How are you? Please drop down in the comments what you guys have been up to. When I tell you I missed you, when I tell you I love my job. Anyway, a lot of stuff has been happening. You guys have been in my DMs about Brittney Griner, and I wanted us to talk about her situation, her 9 years incarceration in Russia. But before I start, I have a story to tell you guys. I have never told this story before, but in light of what has happened to Brittney, I think it is appropriate to share. Listen to the story. In 2017, Ula and I decided to go to Morocco. We love traveling. We had been to Moscow. I was born there, so it was wonderful to go back. We've been to Thailand, we've been to Dubai, we've been to so many other countries, and as a matter of fact, just before COVID broke out, we were making our way to Singapore. We arrived in Morocco, and it being a Muslim predominantly country, Ula goes first. I knew that because that was what had happened in Dubai. So he went first, and then I went afterwards. When you go to customs, even though we were a couple, even though we were married, even though we shared the same last name, men went forward and then women after. We had a fantastic time in Morocco. Beautiful. We brought with us a drone. I can say it now. I had seen all of these beautiful landscapes and scenery on social media. Other social media influencers were doing it. So Ula had bought me a drone, and I had insisted on taking it with me to Morocco. Of course, when we got there, plans changed, and we enjoyed ourselves so much that we didn't take the time to learn how the drone worked in order to use it. We tried it in our hotel room, and that was it. Unbeknownst to us, that little decision would save our lives. We went to the desert, we went into town, we went to where Yves Saint Laurent lived. It was fantastic. Made friends. And of course, it was time to go home. We got to the airport, casually dressed, you know, getting ready to come back to London. And your luggage also has to go through, you know how they screen. Immediately, one of the suitcases went through, and a police officer came to us and said, "Is this your suitcase?" I said, "Ah, yes." He said, "Ah, he can see something in the monitor there. What is it?" I said, "Ah, that's our drone. That's our drone." And he looked at me. I didn't think anything of it. He spoke into a kind of walkie-talkie, and 5 men came right away to us. And they didn't speak English. It was only the guy that had summoned them. He said, "Open your suitcase." We opened our suitcase. And he said, "Where's the drone?" And I showed him. I think it was when the men separated myself from Ula that I knew that something wasn't right. "Whose drone is this?" And I said, "It's our drone. It's our drone." I said, "We're a couple, we're married." He said, "Whose drone is this? Between the two of you, whose drone is this?" You know, it's so funny how your body works. I instantly needed the bathroom. Ula said, I owned it. It's mine. And they whisked him away. They put me to the side. They took our suitcases. And Ula turned to me. Fumi, get onto the plane. And I said, get onto the plane where? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? And they took him away. I was standing there with officers. They didn't look at me. They wouldn't talk to me. I was in such panic. And I was so afraid. There was another officer that seemed to be more in charge. And I knew that we were in trouble. I removed my shoes. I put my scarf that I had over my head. I went down and knelt down. And I said to him, Shama hadla hadashi. Shama hadla hadashi. Shama hadla hadashi. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I kept saying that and I wouldn't stop. And I started crying. He looked at me like this. I wouldn't even look at him. I was looking at his feet. Up. Come with me. And he took me to where Ula was. He told us, sign here, sign there. And he took the drone. And they took our luggage and they put us on the plane and they let us go. I want to thank the country of Morocco for being so gracious, for being so kind, for showing empathy and knowing that even though we were wrong, we were 1,000,000,000% wrong, they were able to forgive us and let us go. And to not only let us go, but to welcome us back many a time. To not stamp our passports with any grievances. To have been able to understand that as much as we came there, that cultures are different, but we never meant to offend. I will forever be grateful to Morocco for that. I never told this story because it was so traumatizing. And in the light of what has happened to Brittney Griner, I wanted to tell you that always triple check when you go to another country what the laws are, what the rules are. Do I believe that Brittney brought her vape pen and a little bit of oil to Moscow? Yes. Even though she says she wasn't aware, I believe she did know. I believe she was aware. But what I believe is that she was not aware of the magnitude of what that represented in Russia. Like I said, Ula and I have traveled. Ula is a former national swim champion for Norway that has gone to over 80 countries in his swimming career of, I think, 20 years. And yet, we did not know, we didn't check that it was an offense to bring a drone to Morocco. What saved us was that when they checked the drone, there was no film. That is what saved us. Because I think when we went in there, they double checked. It could have been a different story. I don't know. Mistakes happen. Mistakes happen. You don't know. I completely understand that. It happened to me. It happened to me. And it traumatized me for months. The military, the way they were dressed, house turn, guns. I couldn't speak. I can only imagine how Brittney must have felt. And I know that she must have been terribly scared. You have to double check, dot your I's, cross your T's when you go to other countries. It doesn't matter how you might feel, how you express yourself, how you think that, well, you know, this is how it is. No. Other countries have their laws. Don't go to other countries thinking that they speak English. Don't go to other countries thinking that they will speak English to make it easier for you. I knew, because I knew to go on my knees, I knew to cover my head, I knew to remove my shoes from my feet and speak in his language for him to know that I was sorry. Because you see, you can talk to a man, but when you speak to a man in his language, you speak to his heart. Brittney, when she was apologizing to the judge, and I will get to all of that in a minute, she should have been able to say 1 or 2 words in Russian so that the world could hear. But more than anything, the Russian people would have gotten to their heart. It's amazing how things can flip by doing 1 or 2 things differently. Sorry in Russia, it's Vinny. It's Vinny. It's Vinny. I'm sorry. I am sorry for a particular thing I did wrong. That is what it means. Because you know, in English you have I'm sorry, I apologize, or I take accountability, I did not know. We have different ways of saying sorry. It's the same thing in Russian. It's Vinny. She could have said everything that she had to say, and then in Russian, it's Vinny, to appeal. Brittney fell into a trap. She fell into a trap because it was very political, and America, like all other countries, they have also Russian nationals in their jails. And so the Russians said, we'll wait. We'll get him back, our Russian national in jail. We'll wait. Because one of the Americans will make a mistake. It doesn't have to be any regular American. It has to be somebody of prominence, a celebrity, whereby we will keep them in custody and sentence them so that they're a prisoner, so that we will have a prisoner exchange. And what will happen here is that Brittney is a national treasure. She's a basketball player, 6'9", black girl in Russia, where her sexual orientation, because the president has aired his distaste for a lot of stuff that they don't like, and one of them is the sexual preference. They don't care for it. So when Brittney went there and put a picture up of her wife, it was like giving a thumb or a middle finger to the Russian authority. She didn't know it, but that was what it was. Brittney now has to learn the language, understand the culture, so that she can stay in survival mode for the amount of time that she'll be there until the two countries, the USA, the USSR, are able to make the prisoner exchange and she can come home. Like I said, I believe that she took it with her, but she never understood the magnitude that would bring. The United States of America is one of the most amazing, powerful, wonderful countries in the world. Yes, it is. It's one of the most powerful countries also in the world. But America is not the world. It is the land of the free. And that is why so many other nationals from other countries want to come to the United States, because they are not given the liberty that we so very much enjoy. And so it's not so much that you are not liked by other countries. In many ways, it's a situation where our beliefs in the United States go against their beliefs. And there's a rupture there because some of their people really believe in the American dream, the American life. So when Brittney came and did this, it was never personal. It was never personal. Part of it was she has to be punished like all the others. There's another American there. I think he's a teacher, and he was given 14 years. There are other Americans that are in these prisons, but Brittney is the one that had a name. And personally, they should have gotten her out ages ago. I think this happened to her in February. We're in August, so she's been there a while. But they needed her to be a prisoner because they wanted a prisoner exchange. She didn't have a chance. You have to understand, Russia is fighting with Ukraine. And a lot of other countries came in support of Ukraine and started to distance themselves from Russia. We all know this. So the temperature in which Brittney found herself in was high. It was high. I feel so sorry for her family, for her team. And my only advice for her, keep her head low. Stay very calm. Look for somebody in the prison there that can take care of you and you take care of. You have each other's backs. And stay in survival mode until you can get out. Things happen. Mistakes happen. And it was a humbling experience that I went through. And where I was panicking and completely losing it, Ula was so calm. Ula was so calm. When I look back, I remember that incident was one of the things that showed me how much I loved him, how fearless he was. And I just was not able to compose myself at all. I can imagine what it must have been for Brittney. Don't go to countries without knowing their laws. And if you go, take very simple clothing. Don't take too much. In Singapore, you throw chewing gum on the floor, you'll be arrested. Always triple check before you go. And I'll give you this other advice. When you go to countries like this that are really far removed from the way you live, go with somebody else. Just in case. Because you truly could just disappear and nobody will know what happened to you. I am so happy to be back. I hope you love the new the new studio. And we will be back tomorrow. And we're going to talk about Will Smith breaking his silence finally and publicly apologizing to Chris Rock. All of my love, my darlings, and I'll see you soon.